It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shorman, and this is the Forum on Eagle Community Television. You notice we're in a different location. We're actually recording this live out at the new airport facilities in Hayes, and with me is the airport manager. His name is Nathan Marcucci. And Nathan, good to have you here.
Good to see you again.
You've been celebrating being here for almost 4 months now.
Yep, my start date was November 3rd, and I'm really excited that I've been here as long as I have, and a lot's happened in the short time that I've been here.
Well, the area we're sitting in right now used to have a bunch of chairs, tables for people waiting, and this all has changed since you've been here with the new airline coming into play, but we needed more room, more space, and so the addition has been an exciting part. We want to talk about that in just a little bit, but first off, in your first 4 months, how are you liking Hayes?
I actually like it a lot. We get out a lot. There's a lot to see. My wife likes to take part in the, there's like the Hayes Rec Center has a lot of good activities. I have like I said before, I have a little daughter who's a toddler, and there's a lot for her to do here, and it's just a good all-around place for a family to be. So.
When you look at what we have here with the airport and the new services that we have here, there's a lot of things to be proud of out here, and I think you're excited about that as well.
Yeah, I am.
We recently had an open house that was here. A lot of people were out here. What were some of the comments you received?
It looked good. People liked it. They liked the fact that we have large bay windows that you can look out on the ramp to look at airplanes. They like the fact that there's bathrooms past the checkpoint. Before there were no bathrooms past the checkpoint, and that's kind of a hindrance to somebody who, you know, if you have to go back out of security, then you got to get screened again, and it's not exactly the most convenient when there are no bathrooms. But you know, we remodeled our old bathrooms as well, and so now they're even ADA compliant. And I think people like that. So,
well, what you notice is anymore, you want to have convenience when you're flying.
Yep.
And I know the new airline service actually has facilities and a stewardess or steward on the plane to be able to help you when you're on the plane. So there's some nice things there, but it really puts Hayes on the map as being a regional jet service for transportation in and out as well.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's one of our benefits, is that we are regionally located, and we have short lines for our ticket and our check-in and our security lines. And you know, we have parking that's free and convenient and close to the door. A lot of times you got to pay for parking, and it's kind of far away. So that's one of the things I think is definitely a bonus to being in Hayes and having a small airport which connects to Denver, which, by the way, connects to Europe and Asia and the rest of the world. So.
Well, we just saw the plane go out a little bit ago. It's quiet in here right now, but there was a plane, I don't know if they were full of people, but a good group of people heading out this afternoon. And what we want to do is kind of show you what you might see if you travel, because I know part of your job is to promote the airport.
Right.
And there's a couple fun events that are going to be coming up later on this spring and this summer. We'll talk about that. But first off, those that want to fly, you mentioned parking is reasonable, it's close, you don't have to walk a long ways, but there are a lot of reasons to at least check out flying Hayes versus driving to one of the other regional airports.
Right, and those are my biggest reasons, but at the same time, the airline is a code share partner with many airlines throughout the world, and so you can earn miles, and you can seamlessly switch between other airlines. The other thing that I like about SkyWest serving Hayes as United is the fact that there is that opportunity for you to, so basically some other airlines you'd have to go through security at the airport that you arrive at, but here everything's already checked through to your final destination, especially if you stay with United. So I mean, the thing I like about it is that we are connected to the world via Denver. So. And
it is cool when you watch those jets come in. They're nice big jets, and when they go rumbling down the runway to take off, you know it's a real jet out there. And so it is a good feel whether you have people coming to visit, and I know we have that at Eagle, where you have other companies that come to see us. It allows them to come into Hayes without worrying about some of the things some people are with the smaller airplane.
That's actually one of my favorite things. So I think one of my last Facebook posts was, should I do a marketing strategy report, or should I watch this jet take off? And the jet won. So if you end up looking at our Facebook page, you'll see it's basically a CRJ 200, which is what SkyWest flies, but it's not. It's a corporate jet, and it's just absolutely fun and beautiful. And to me, it's a work of art just to see them take off. You see a hunk of metal hurling down the runway, And you're like, how does that, it's amazing how that flies. The laws of aerodynamics and physics do really play a role here in Hayes.
And these jets get out of here too. Once they point the nose up, they get out of here pretty quick.
Yeah,
and
that's
climb
pretty
to elevation,
awesome.
So they go after it. So if you like airplanes and you like travel, this is a good place to start. And Brandon, if you can on the camera, we're going to talk a little bit about what's off to my left, your right on the screen, and kind of take you a little bit of tour around. So if you'd look over to the other side there, what happens off to my left over here, Nathan? What takes place there?
That's our security screening checkpoint. In the past, the security screening checkpoint was kind of small and cramped, and it wasn't designed for post 9/11 use. I don't know what it was like because previous to me, I'm sure it was probably just a metal detector before 9/11. But here we've expanded it so. It's not as cramped, it's spacious. You actually have space to go through. You can get your luggage screened in a timely manner, and it doesn't really take you any time at all. That's actually one of the bonuses. The reason I like this airport actually is because it is quite quick. Everything about screening is quick, check-in is quick. Even your flight to Denver is quick, 30 to 45 minutes. On a bad day, maybe an hour, just because, but that's the area where you get screened at this point.
And it's the same security you get at other airports. You just don't have the mob of people. I just happened to come out of DC the other day, and the mob of people trying to get through security and make that happen. It can be 30, 35, 45-minute wait just in line.
Right, and the other thing is that our TSA screeners are friendly. They're local. They live here. They know who you are. They see you, and they care about you. I'm not saying that other TSA screeners don't, but it's a hard job, and it's a thankless job, and it's something that here I think we have a more local atmosphere with our screeners, and the TSA screeners take pride in their job.
I can tell you what, Nathan, in Washington D.C. they didn't say hi, Gary, when I walked.
No,
up there.
they're always friendly, and that's what I like, and they do an excellent job here.
So you go through the screening area, and then right over your right shoulder is the area where the waiting area, and that was really the major construction for the add-on, was right behind us, because it added on a restroom. So now once you've gone through security, there's a restroom there, which makes it convenient while you're waiting for the plane. If there's a delay, there's some options there in that restroom, and then the waiting area can also be expanded back behind to hold a bigger group of people as well.
Yeah, so that area right there holds approximately 50 passengers, but if you look over here, you'll see the glass sliders, and those will shut, and if you look a little bit to your left of that glass slider, there's a door that is alarmed. So basically, that's a fire access door, but if we have to open up the security area, we can shut the glass slider to make it available for 80 passengers. That allows us to have charter flights and even to have larger jets. There are, in the event that one day Hayes does grow enough to support maybe a larger jet such as a CRJ 700, which does seat 70 passengers, where the CRJ 500 seats 50, that is something that is a benefit to us. It's planned for growth, and it's planned for, available use later on down the road. But what I really like about that area is if you come in through the front door, you can go out to the back and you can actually look at the airplanes on the ramp. I really, really would love it if I'd see more people here just come to look at airplanes. I mean, I think I told you last time, I'm kind of an airplane nerd, and I've seen a lot of airplanes. My wife says one jet looks like another jet, but to me, she's like, well, what's the difference between one King Air and another? And I told her some people just love King Airs,
That's the difference. And if you do like that, and for a lot of people, it's a way to get from one place to another.
Yeah.
And by doing what's happened here, has allowed it to be a much more customer-friendly, much more convenient than people in the old room. You'd get a lot of people all jammed in a very tight space.
Right.
And so this allows a much more space, much more user-friendly type of experience. And frankly, it just makes it easier to fly out of Hayes, and makes it fun to fly out of Hayes and come back to Hayes. So.
Yeah, what I like about there, the overflow, is it's actually got comfortable seating right now, and just kind of a nice quiet place to relax. So sometimes when I'm not in my office, that's where you'll be able to find me. So.
Well, let's talk about flights. In 1st of March, there was a change in the flight schedule. So in the morning, there's a flight that's going to be leaving about 10 o'clock in the morning. Then there'll be one leaving around 4 in the afternoon. And so when you go online to check, I know there's some concern that the early morning flight is no longer here. and that's a concern. I think what you're hoping is that people will look at the flights there, make sure they check and find that maybe the 10 o'clock one will give them some options.
Right. I think that they will find the 10 o'clock will give them some options. I mean, kind of a silly joke, but if you look at your flight schedule between here and Denver, you'll notice that it takes only about 10 minutes to get to Denver, but that's because if you do Back to the Future math, you know, that time zone change still makes it available for you to be able to connect to other cities and throughout the United States and again, through other parts of the world. So when you leave here around 10 o'clock, you still get to Denver at 10 o'clock. And it is definitely a better opportunity than the 2 o'clock flights that we have had.
So if nothing else, go and check and make sure you always check here first before you do, because of the advantages of being. I know you expanded the parking lot to get more parking, and I know sometimes there's cars parked out there, so you actually need that. And so the ability to be able to jump out of Hayes, bring families back to Hayes, that sort of thing, in a nice airplane is really a great opportunity for us in the community to have a better air service.
Yeah, if you're ever unsure about your airline, the best place, you know, you can always come down here when the airline's here. They work part-time, so it's always, you know, they're always willing to answer your question. They're friendly. Natalie, the station manager, she's always willing. She's a very friendly person, and she does a great job at her job. She's brand new, but she loves what she does, and she loves working for SkyWest, and she really wants to engage with the community, and so she will answer your questions as best as she can. If there's not, if she's not here, or somebody that works with her is not here, you know, I'll do what I can. I don't actually work for the airline; I work for the city, and I'll answer your questions the best that I can. If that doesn't work out, you know, I have some resources where I can point you to, such as the United website or the 1-800 number. Those aren't people's favorite, but you know, and I understand, because a lot of times it's just really nice to talk to a person. So, you know, my phone number is listed on the flyhays.com website. I believe it's also listed at the facebook.com/flyhays website as well.
Now, one of the things, Nathan, is people probably think that this is your job, is just taking care of this for the airline service, but it's much more than that, including some fun promotions coming up. And just in case it ever snows, you also get to be in charge of making sure everything's cleaned up and all that, so that people can actually land. We're going to talk about those. Do you have time to take a quick break?
Yeah, I have time to take a quick break.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with more after this from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program. The forum's brought to you by the great folks out at Hayes Med. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, suggestions on great programs like this one, send them to me. My address on the email address is gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. You can also find us on Facebook under ECTV Forum. Good to have you watching along. Nathan is the manager here at the airport. We were talking about earlier the new terminal and how that is so efficient for you to fly out of Hayes and enjoy some of the services of the new United Express, which is a SkyWest service, and they're doing a great job with that. But you do a lot more than just that. One of those is making sure the airport is ready for airplanes to land, which means there's a lot of runway out of there that has to be cleaned if it's icing or snowing.
So far, I've done a pretty good job. There's one morning that there's not really anything I could have done about it, but believe it or not, we use urea. We used about 6 tons of it just to clear the ice, and that plane got out. It was supposed to leave around 6 or 7 o'clock, and it got out around 12 o'clock that day, just because, you know, it just needed time to melt, and the urea is a chemical. It's actually an agricultural fertilizer.
And that's what they spray on the planes for de-icing?
No, that's what we
putting that on the runway?
That's what we were putting on the runway, just to melt, you know, a 60-foot wide path of ice so they could take off. But, for the most part, we've done a really good job with just me and Rick. Rick Hines is my coworker. He's a I love working with that guy. He's smart. He knows what he's doing here. He's local. He's friendly. And if you happen to see him around, just say hi. He's a good person to work with. And if I have questions about what he's done before to clear the snow, things are different than from where I came from. He's a good person to go to.
Now, every once in a while you'll drive by and somebody may be out at the airport and they'll see your vehicle or one of the vehicles driving around on the runways. What's going on there?
There's many different things that are possibly happening.
You're not trying to take off, are you?
No, I haven't sprouted wings yet. But if it's a snowy day, it's possible that I'm testing the amount of friction on the runway. If it's or we're possibly plowing, or we even have a tractor with a 7-foot broom on it, which takes a long time to sweep the snow off. But sometimes sweeping is way more effective than plowing. Plowing, as some of you may know, might also create ice, which is worse and would actually delay your flight. If it's a sunny day, we might be looking for abnormalities on the airfield, such as pavement irregularities, possibly lights that are out, things that would affect the safety of flight. My entire goal here, other than being an airport manager, is to make sure that planes land and take off safely, and make sure the airfield is in a good condition, and basically that no one's going to get hurt. Overall, it's kind of like being a safety manager.
And animals are another thing that are an issue out on the runway too, of making sure that they're out of the way as well.
So that's an issue at every single airport. So part of our wildlife plan is to just make sure we do our best to exclude them, whether it's filling in the holes that they create, or just finding ways to haze them, or we do what we can to to maintain that safety of flight. One of my favorite things to do is to go out watching birds. And like last night I went to Cheyenne Bottoms. We saw some beautiful pintails and some snow geese.
That's a good place to keep them down there, not over the airport.
That's exactly what I'm about to tell you, because there are the last bird strike that I did see, it was a common loon in Michigan, and it punched a hole through the entire cockpit of the airplane, and that could have caused a major accident. And so as much as I like birds, I also love airplanes, but I don't like it when the two of them mix.
Yeah. One of the things that I know you take care of also is the local airport for pilots that are out here that use airplanes for business, and in some cases recreation as well. And how is that going? How is that served?
I think a lot of people, for me it's still a learning curve. I think a lot of people don't realize that, and actually this is the same everywhere. A lot of people don't realize that, there's people that use their airplanes, not just for recreation, but they use it for business. Sometimes people's time is more valuable getting to the locations that they need to serve and getting back home so they can complete their day and take care of their business. It becomes more of an asset than it does a recreational vehicle.
I see that happen in our case, because Eagle has all over the Midwest, and so to be able to get from here to, say, an Alliance, Nebraska,
right,
it's a long drive to do that. So having a good FBO or fixed-based operator here is really important to be able to take care of those people that use it for
exactly.
business.
And the thing is, we do have a pretty good FBO. We have people that are friendly, they take care of you. If you need if somebody's here for just the day and they need catering and they need to use our conference room, they'll take care. They'll set that up. There are large businesses that do come here to Hayes to do business, and we want those businesses to come here. And one of the assets that we do have that is our airfield facilities, is our wide and long runways. And when we maintain those, we make it easier for businesses to come here to do business, and they spend money in our local economy, and they make Hayes thrive.
Let's talk just quickly about some things, because airports can be fun, and you're planning on a few fun things coming up. First off, let's talk about NUTS, pecans in exact. It's actually an acronym for the Planes Elevated Convective Activity at Night program. What's that about?
So Planes Elevated Convective Activity at Night is going to be a group of storm chasers. They work for a university, I believe, and they're going to be coming out in May 30th. So if you guys could come out and support them in that, that'd be fun. They'd really appreciate it. They'd love to tell you more about it. But what they're going to be having here is going to be Doppler on wheels, basically a couple Mack trucks, and they're going to have Doppler radars on the back, and they're going to have also a large airplane, which is called, it's a King Air, and basically what that King Air's job is, as far as I understand it, is to go seek out thunderstorms.
Well, I don't know if we can plan a thunderstorm for May 30th,
No.
but that would be pretty exciting to watch how that works and set up. So that's on May 30th. You also have coming up a fly-in, which is really fun because planes that are out here on the airport, you can come out and look at airplanes. You have some other things. That's going to be the second week in June. That'll be June 13th out here at the airfield.
Right. So hopefully, a lot of you are available and you come. But I'm hoping to have some. I know for sure that we have some medevac assets coming. I've invited some what are more commonly known as drone companies to come, and I've invited the military is going to come. They're not necessarily bringing. I can't promise that they're bringing aerial support because apparently there's budget cuts, but they will be here to support. K-State's coming. Other flight schools are coming. We're hopefully having some radio control coming. There's a lot of people that invited and a lot of people that have said tentatively yes. So by the time March, by the end of April, I should have most of those.
So be watching for that, and that would also be on your Facebook page also.
Yeah, and actually I found out that the airport has a calendar that, so if you, I'm definitely going to post it more on the Facebook page, but if you're interested, I'll be posting it on the flyhaze.com calendar. So just look for that mostly on Facebook at Flyhaze. So.
Well, Nathan, also in end of the year or end of summer, late September, 28th through 30th, it says here a bunch of pilots are going to be stopping by. Now, usually there's a bunch of pilots somewhere stopping by, but this is a special event that goes around Kansas at the end of September.
So KDOT's sponsoring an event. They're actually not the organizer. And so I'm not really sure how it works, but KDOT's involved in this, the Department of Aviation. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get pilots exposed to other airports in the state of Kansas. And I'm really glad that they're coming to Hays.
They'll see a nice airport here.
Yeah, they're coming to stay the night too. So hopefully, they go down to restaurants downtown. I always like to point certain people to our local businesses such as Gella's or Gutch's or, many of the other restaurants. I think there's Paisley Pear or, we have a lot of good restaurant opportunities for places to eat, and maybe they'll take part, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, Nathan, it's an exciting time right now, and I know with the challenge of the new airline, SkyWest is, you mentioned earlier, is one of the best regional air carriers.
Yep, I would actually have to agree with that still. They treat their pilots well. They treat, there's a lot of air carriers right now that are hemorrhaging pilots just because they can't keep the talent. Most notably Great Lakes, and even some of the ones that do fly a jet service, they're just not doing as well as they could be, and some of them are trying to incentivize the pilots to stay because they realize the cost of it. They realize how much it is costing them losing pilots. SkyWest is a really good, it's a really good airline. We're lucky to have them. They're one of the most financially stable airlines in the industry. So, and to me, that it says a lot that they're willing to, to me, it says a lot that they know what they're doing. So.
Well, Nathan, if somebody wants to find out more, where do they go to find out about what's going on at the Hays Airport?
You can always message me through Facebook at, again, Facebook.com/FlyHays. You can always call me on my phone number. The phone number's on the website. You can always look at the website.
Come right out, or you have an office right out here?
I have an office. If my door's open, just let me know. Come on in. If not, it's generally because I'm out on the town doing business. So.
Very good, Nathan. Nathan Marcucci is the airport manager here at the Hays Regional Airport. Exciting things happening here. Check out their Facebook page and you'll see some pictures of some fun things, including the open house from a few weeks ago.
Yep, you definitely will. And I'm always trying to post interesting things up there, and people seem to love airplanes. So
congratulations on the new terminal.
Thank you.
Hope you have a chance out there if you're watching to stop by, and hope you have a chance to fly Hays. I'm Gary Shorman. This is The Forum on Eagle Community Television. It's brought to you by Hays Med and by Eagle Communication. Our community connected.
Hays Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hays Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.